Man, those chairs are comfortable. And yes, I am wearing Skechers. And yes, you all are looking at my feet right now. But don't tell my boss. How many here are on Pacific Standard Time? Got less than 5 hours of sleep? Raise your hand. Turn to that person and say, stay awake. How many people here have more than 8 hours of sleep? Oh, just a few. Okay, turn to that person and say, that's not fair. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be with you today. Just by a show of hands, how many people are practicing engineers or engineering students or retired engineers? Okay. Well, if you're not in engineering right now and you think you should be, or you think you are an engineer at heart, here are some criteria to help you think about it more. You see a good design and you have to change it. You have ever tried to repair a $5 radio? You have a neatly sorted collection of old nuts and bolts in your garage. Your 3-year-old son asks you to, why is the sky blue? And you try to explain atmospheric absorption theory. You know what HTT:// stands for. Your wristwatch has more buttons than a telephone. You did the sound system for your senior prom. You own 1 or more white short-sleeve dress shirts. You have ever saved a power cord from a broken appliance. So there you go. I hope that helps your decision. Here's something else. The less you know, the more you make. Salary theorem suggests that, let's go back here. Salary theorem suggests that engineers and scientists can never earn as much as business executives and salespeople. The theorem can now be supported by a mathematical equation based on the following 2 postulates. Knowledge is power, time is money. As every engineer knows that power equals work divided by time. Since knowledge equals power, knowledge equals power and time equals money, it follows that knowledge equals work divided by money. Solving for money, we get money equals work divided by knowledge. Thus, as knowledge approaches 0, money approaches infinity. So regardless of the amount of work done, the less you know, the more you make. So consider being a business person. All right. So I'm up here actually to talk to you about changing the world, our most important change. And I prepared this presentation starting Monday. It's got canceled, and thanks to Diane, what a sweet lady, she gave me this opportunity. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is the need about this change. We're going to be covering these points. Well, I'll go over them. Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative researchers found that about 1.7 billion people live in multidimensional poverty. Almost half of the world, over 3 billion people, live on less than $2.50 a day. At least 80% of humanity lives on less than $10 a day. 1 billion people live in slum-type conditions. Nearly 1 billion people entered the 21st century unable to read a book or sign their names. Some 1.1 billion people in developing countries have inadequate access to water, and 2.6 billion lack basic sanitation. 2.2 million die each year because they are not immunized. Children out of education worldwide total 121 million. And these figures are absolutely staggering. But we have an opportunity to make a huge difference with our lives and as an Engineers Without Borders organization. Truly, we can understand our opportunity as our real qualitative and quantitative chance to change the world. Our life skills, our interests, our career can actually be used to save lives or better human living. And what a thrill that is. We are like doctors in that sense. the kind of people who have some answers for the plaguing issues of the human predicament. We are the superhumans with super knowledge, in a sense, to design a bridge or build a clinic and bring funding to build it. How exciting it is to be a part of an organization like EWB, where we can use what we know to help people and even bring powerful change to their lives. The temptation within us all to live up to this is extremely intriguing. In fact, the temptation to give ourselves to the need of the world is fascinating because it is why I bet many of us went into engineering. Because we wanted to make the world a better place. Because we wanted to see how technology can give people a fruitful and healthy life. Because we wanted to meet the needs that have plagued civilizations for our entire human existence. But not just on Engineers Without Borders projects, but what we do here with our companies or projects for our professors. The end goal is really the same. At the end of the day, it's all about people. It's not about us. It's about protecting, providing, and allowing people to thrive. So we give ourselves to this cause with our entire life. In his 1975 book, The Existential Pleasures of Engineering, Samuel C. Florman said that man, the creator, is by his very existence, by his very nature, not satisfied to accept the world as it is. And we are not satisfied with people not having access to clean water. We want better. We are not satisfied with people not having a classroom building or a health clinic building. We want better. In all areas of the world, we want better. And we have a special vision. You can probably relate to this. Driving down the freeway or the highway and looking at the buildings and bridges and aqueducts, civil engineers, you can appreciate this a lot. We see things, and we have an ability to understand the physics of the world and appreciate a solution like non-engineering types can't. We value our gifting, and we want to bless others with it. And our special skills empower us, but more importantly, they give us a standout posture to the rest of the professions of the world. We are very, very valuable to our fellow human beings because of our abilities. Society trusts us. They need us. Our risk individually and as a group may just be that today we are too much in demand. Interestingly, our current connection and access to the world is absolutely incredible, and we are beginning to take it for granted and miss the real powerful force behind it. Not only traditional media, but through Facebook, Twitter, and other grassroots campaigns, the younger generations are realizing the heartaches and injustices done abroad. This is obviously clear to us in the West, as we are immediately aware of every movement of the current revolutions going on in the Middle East. This is what the result of what Thomas Friedman describes as the world is flat communication capabilities. Our technology, sourced from engineering, is giving us access to more engineering opportunities. So all the world is now engaged like never before in understanding and communicating instantly with the rest of the planet. Gone are the days where people traveled from one continent to the other on a boat for a few months to deliver a message. We need you. We need a hospital clinic, or we need you to save us from our dictator. Right now, they can email us their request for help. Or we could see it on their authentic video on CNN. I have friends in northern Uganda who post Facebook status updates every day. But despite the two-way access that we now enjoy, there is still a world of work to be done. In fact, the access amplifies the need. And that is before us now. The world of work is accessible to us like never before. The opportunities seem to be virtually endless. There's an ocean of opportunity to swim in for the rest of our lives. And the only question is, how available are we to do the work that is so accessible? How available and how ready are we as individuals to meet the need? Are we really the kind of people that we need to be to meet these demands? Never before have engineers of the world had so many answers to solutions for the needs of our fellow human beings with the same level of access to meet those needs. If we are not listening, our solutions may bypass the need, and we could become numb to the need message of the world, or it may be inaudible as it gets lost in all the communication and all the chatter. So what are the weaknesses of the engineering profession that we love? Most often, if we're being honest, it's that we're too honest, or too helpful, or too diligent, or too compassionate, or too analytical. We can easily be too everything to others, but not anything to ourselves. That is, our weakness may just be that we don't realize our own humanness and our own need. For instance, the stereotype that engineers are plagued with is that we are such introverts, and we are, in fact, the worst partiers ever. And we score lowest on the social totem pole. Perhaps the first place prize to the nerdiest among us goes to the computer engineers out there, and second to them are the electrical engineers. And then there's the MEs and the CEs, and then above that is the industrial engineers, because they're more like business people, and business people are cool. And so no offense to the computer engineers out there. The millennials, or Generation Y, have been labeled the entitlement generation, and a generation that lacks a hard work ethic. But I think we have learned to work smarter, and there's no doubt that we can outwork the baby boom generation any day when our hearts are in our work. But let's pause to consider this. Are our hearts in our work? Or let's put it differently. Is our work from the heart? Is our work from the heart? If we are introverts, are we introspective enough? Do we need a wake-up call to look deeper within and evaluate our internal personal selves? I'm talking about the deepest parts of us, not the professional engineering side, but looking beyond our normal lives and looking deeper. It's hard to become a human being of wholeness and integrity and virtue and well-roundedness if we think of ourselves as an already complete masterpiece.